Hey everybody, this is Positive Benzo Withdrawal, and today I wanted to talk about this question of will I get my identity back? So I've heard this a lot from people who are in their taper, especially friends of mine who've been tapering, or people who are in acute withdrawal, or even in the setbacks. And because I've had this opportunity or challenge of going from having really good windows to then having a resurgence of symptoms that were more acute-like, and I've had this now 4 times, unfortunately, or maybe 3 times. The first time I really wasn't acute. The second time was during my taper. At the very end of my taper, I went into acute. The third time was at 6 months post-taper, and I have like a whole few videos on my setback at 6 months off the taper. And then the last time was when I took the antibiotic. And in all those times, I completely lost myself. You know, the symptoms were just so severe. Cognitively completely scrambled, physically, losing hair, losing weight, not being able to get out of bed, all the ways in which I identify as me, as the person who I am, just went away. And they all went away for different lengths of time. And this last go around of the setback certainly has been the longest amount of time that I've had really severe symptoms. But the viewpoint that I have and that I can share with you is that after each one of those times of like complete identity annihilation, I eventually came back to me. And sometimes, it was a very, very, very slow process. Sometimes it was a little bit quicker. At least a few things would come back that I could be like, okay, I know that. I can do that. But I do believe that it's one of the most challenging. I mean, everything is challenging in withdrawal. Everything is challenging. That is something that I've identified as one of the core challenging issues, is that we lose complete sense of who we are in relation to ourselves and to the world. All the things that, identity is an interesting thing because it's fluid over time. My identity, regardless of benzo withdrawal, is going to be fluid over time. Things come and go in my life. My interests change. I want to do a little bit more of this, a little bit less of this. Especially if we have certain kinds of privilege and you do have maybe the resources or other ways in which, you have privilege, you can make a lot of different choices in life. But there's something about benzo withdrawal that is so far beyond that in terms of identity, because the simple little things that we take for granted as an able-bodied person, like walking, you might not be able to walk, or spending time with a loved one. Like that for an able-bodied person might just be a non-issue. They don't think about it. But for people who've, suffered from this chemical injury, spending time with a loved one is just impossible. Like for so many reasons, as you know, I'm preaching to the choir, I'm sure. Career, losing your career, losing your, potentially losing your primary relationship, losing your income, losing so many abilities, the ability to sleep, the ability to shower, the ability to put on makeup, the ability to eat an ice cream cone. All those things are gone. And so it makes sense that we would think to ourselves, well, am I ever going to get better? Am I ever going to get that identity back? Is this just one long run-on sentence of suffering? And my experience is that yes, identity does come back. I'm slowly starting to get my identity back now post-setback. I wouldn't say this is the most amazing hair I've ever had in my life. It's choppy. I've been cutting it myself. The color is a little raggedy-taggedy. However, when I put that red henna back in my hair and I looked at myself in the mirror, I thought, I've reclaimed a piece of myself. So that was great. Putting on makeup, I've reclaimed a piece of myself. The external, I think, is a representation of how I'm feeling internally. So I'm reclaiming parts of my internal landscape as well. Like I'm able to laugh more. I'm able to listen to music. My interests are coming back. I'm getting curious about things outside of benzo withdrawal. There's a time in severe acute when, you know, I believe it's a symptom. All we can do is just think about benzo withdrawal and think about our symptoms, like looping, and no shame for that. I would never shame anybody, and nor could I have been shamed, because it's a symptom. We're looking for ways to survive through this, and we want to glom on to the condition. The condition is real, just like if anybody had any condition. But slowly over time, that starts to fade, and then other interests come back. So I know that other interests are slowly coming back. It's slow. I'm almost 7 months into the setback, but I am starting to get interested in other things again, like my spiritual practices, like mindfulness meditation, getting more curious on neurobiology and neuroscience. I'm listening to more music, and I'm, you know, just kind of slowly waking back up to myself. Now, in the past, when this has happened, it has been a really slow process of reclamation. And for some people, however, I've heard that they, you know, just kind of wake up one day and they're totally healed. So it's going to look different for everybody. But for those who might be tapering, or those who might be, you know, in a setback, or for people who are just taking a really long time to heal, because again, like your mileage will vary, everyone's going to heal at a different pace, I do believe that you're going to come back to you. And I've seen so many people over the years, because now I've been doing this for a while, come and go in the groups. Like they're gone. A lot of people are just gone. Even people in protracted, like it's amazing, but they're no longer, they're just off and living their lives. Their identity has come back. So I just wanted to say that today, and just to kind of give a little check-in. I am, you know, I would say I'm still in a window. However, I am feeling like a little uptick in symptoms. A little bit of like the tingles and the burning in my back. Like I woke up feeling it, and I was like, okay, there it is. You know, it's like when the nerve endings start to just like get a little bit more raw throughout this area of my body. I know, okay, it's just a little bit more work that my body is doing, a little bit more tired today. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to be going back into a wave soon, or it's kind of one of those things where like I have so little control. Oh, well, I have no control. I can control how I react to my withdrawal, but I can't control how the healing process works. I just can't. And I want to reiterate something that I said in a previous video. I do not believe that I need to do a complete overhaul of my diet and start being a vegan to heal. I don't believe that I need to go out and like lift a bunch of weights to heal, or all these things that other people do. And more power to you. If that's working for you, yay, do it. For myself, I know my body well enough that it's like this small little incremental changes, and I just stay doing what I do. I eat like super healthy organic foods. I drink lots of water. I walk when I can. I socialize as much as I can. I put enough things into my mind that make me feel calm as I can. So if I go into another wave, it's my body doing its thing. It's what healing feels like. Back into acceptance. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. And if you have any questions about this, please type them in the comments. I will try to get back to everybody, but I don't always. And I really like it if people are like answering each other's questions too. I've seen that happen, so that's cool. There's a couple other YouTube features that I want to get good at doing, like sending y'all messages, like all the subscribers. There's a way that I get them from other people, where it's kind of like a post on my YouTube channel. There's like a little post that might happen from the people that I'm following. So I want to be able to like shout out different things, maybe inspirational messages. We'll see. We'll see how much I, can do on that. But I've been really putting a lot of attention on my channel right now because I'm not working, but I'm trying to get back to work. And this is what I do in my career. I mean, it's a different topic, but I make videos. I do video sessions, and I'm an educator. So this is helping me kind of like lube up my wheels. And so that's why I've been doing a lot of videos. I also, because of the setback, like went back into the benzo community, and I hadn't been in the benzo community for a long time. There's huge gaps between my videos in the past because it wasn't my whole world. But having circled back into the withdrawal community, I'm seeing just like another level of inquiry that I wanted to get into, like other questions that I want to answer from my experience. So that's what's going on. Lots of love, everybody, and I hope you have as good of a day as possible in this really intense world we live in, and with this syndrome that we are all dealing with. Do your absolute best, even if all you can do is just give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug. I've given myself lots of hugs, and it does feel good. So try that if you can. All right.